Okay, wonderful. It's about time to start this webinar. Welcome all, everybody who's been joining us. It's been really nice to see that this webinar has been interesting, and the topic is something that people around the Nordics are interested in. And my name is Jaakko Heikkinen. I'm located here in Finland, Espoo. I'm a consultant working mainly with advisory and pre-sales, and of course the AI is a hot topic amongst our customers, current and new ones, and welcome all. My Microsoft technical background is in CRM and customer engagement, but as I told you, now I'm mostly on the advisory side and business consulting. And then maybe we have here a wonderful colleagues from Sweden, Daniel and Shelley. Maybe you can introduce yourselves at this point.
Shelley, you should start.
Should I start? Of course.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Shelley Vung, and I also work as a business consultant here at Innofactor, but I'm based in Malmö, Sweden. So on my daily work, I focus mostly on Dynamics 365 and Power Platform and how both of them integrates, and of course AI features in along with all of that Microsoft suite. So very excited today to be here to present some news and features regarding Sales Copilot. And over to you, Daniel.
Thank you very much. Super excited to be here. So my name is Daniel Amundsen. I work as a CRM architect here for Innofactor, and I've been following the different updates for Copilot for quite a while, and it's super exciting to see how it's integrating and transforming the CRM world and sales in this particular topic. And I really look forward to introducing some of the features that you can expect to come in near time. So Jaakko, should we start?
Yes, let's start. And everybody online, if you have any questions, you can write them on the chat box, and then we will answer them as best as we can then at the end in the Q&A part of the presentation. And now let's move on. Here's the agenda for today. First, I will talk about the benefits and challenges of using AI in sales and marketing. Of course, now we are talking about Sales Copilot, so we will focus on the sales side. I will also talk shortly about the AI in general. And then it's over to Daniel and Shelley with more details on Dynamics Copilot and Sales Copilot. And then we will also show you a little bit how it works in practice. Unfortunately, we are unable currently to do live demos because, well, I will explain you later. There's been a few hiccups with the Sales Copilot. It's back online now, but we didn't have time to prepare a proper demonstration for you, but you will see anyways how it works in practice. And we have a Q&A session and time for that in the end, so you can ask all kinds of questions that you have in mind. But let's move on about the benefits and challenges. Now, this is a picture from Microsoft just to illustrate you what we are talking about here. So Copilot is a tool, and it's kind of now the overall term for all GPT and large language models related generative AI in Microsoft solutions. And here we can see that there are three kind of boxes, different kind of things that are needed to be able to utilize the generative AI. We have data, of course. It's residing in Azure Dataverse, Microsoft Graph, and other Microsoft sources. Then we, of course, need the large language model, which is in Azure, in Microsoft, and there's also other tools related to that. And of course, then we have the application itself. then when we are talking about Sales Copilot, it is of course embedded then into Dynamics, customer engagement, sales in this case, and of course in all the Office 365 solutions. And when we're talking about the Sales Copilot, we are mainly talking about Outlook and Teams at this moment. And now, of course, everybody's talking about the AI. Are we in the middle of a hype? Yes, we are, obviously. And here's the hype cycle with the Gartner. And you can see the generative AI on the very top of the peak of inflated expectations part. As we all know, when we are talking about GPT and large language models, the kind of innovation happened in 2018 already with the first GPT-1, and then came GPT-2, GPT-3, GPT-3.5. And at that point, OpenAI, who was creating these language models and these GPT models, they published it, the GPT 3.5. And of course, at that point, we all know about a year ago, the public interest just exploded completely. And after that, all the companies has been, many software companies have been implementing solutions related to these GTP models. Of course, it's a hype, but is using AI and large language models here to stay? Yes, I have a typo there, but it's okay. Yes, of course they are. I was just in a Power Applications kind of conference type of thing, and within our customers, within our competitors, the message was very clear that it is here to stay. Using generative AI is not going anywhere. Of course, we are in early stage, but to be able to kind of keep up with the competition, everybody needs to start thinking about the use cases and the data, of course, because everything runs on good data here. Now the Copilots for Microsoft, they are a mix of old and new. When we go to the very bottom, the Azure AI platform, of course, there has been many artificial intelligence solutions there for many years, machine learning and such. And now the Azure OpenAI capabilities are kind of new, that has been launched like in the past 12 months. We are talking about Copilot Studio, which is the low-code platform for generating your own copilots within the Microsoft ecosystem. And that is kind of put together the old vintage Power Virtual Agents and then new AI capabilities. For the Sales Copilot, the same thing. We have the kind of vintage Viva Sales that's in the Outlook and Teams, that is connecting Outlook emails, meetings with the CRM data. But of course, we have new AI capabilities and new interface on the application side in the Dynamics sales side. So that's kind of good to understand that not everything related to Copilot is completely brand new. Some are old features that's been there for a year, 2, 3, 4 years, and then we have new offering. What does this mean that it's new? We are in the middle of a hype. Everything is new. This is one thing that is just to let you know that when you are starting to use and try these new features, there might be some hiccups and some kind of issues in the beginning. And this happened with the Sales Copilot in the Dynamics side. So they launched it it was in general availability, but then there was an issue for it showing to customers that did not within the settings kind of enable it. So they took it offline a few weeks ago. Now it's back online, but there are still some features missing, and that's kind of the reason why we are not able to demonstrate it right now. So just kind of expectation management. Not everything is working, but there is tons of development and research going on, and as I told you, this is not going away. So you can start thinking about it, planning to use it already, figuring out use cases, and of course the data. And now this was, I got a few numbers from Microsoft webinar earlier this week about the market insights on the adoption of generative AI across Europe. Of course, the momentum is astonishing and astounding. 75% are exploring or investing in generative AI. So this is not a choice. If you want to explore and invest and investigate, everyone has to do this. 88% says that generative AI will have an impact on their business, and over 50% already have clear investment plans for the next 18 months. And about the same size say that the generative AI has already disrupted their business. So this is something that everybody really needs to do, and I'm going to launch a poll here now that you can answer. It's going to show you in your screen. I give you a few minutes to answer the poll. So the question is that kind of in which of the following topics are you going to invest time or money now in the next 12 months in your organization? And I will also show you the results then, so you can all see those as well. Just a few more moments to, I'm getting nicely answers here. About 40% have voted, so please vote and tell about your views. Okay, now it seems that everybody has voted, almost. There's still some coming. And of course, I'm sorry, there was missing, the none section was missing. So if you have not voted, then I assume that you are not doing currently any investments. So for the results, I will share it so we can see that the 46% and most are kind of going and talking about the use cases and then the AI chatbots, which is very nice and interesting. Also 35% are going to invest time or money on the Sales Copilot. So this is very good news, and we are happy that you are interested. And about half voted, so maybe the other half are not investing yet, but as I told you, it would be good to do so. Okay, let's move forward. About the risks and challenges, 47% say that the security is the biggest challenge. And of course, people are thinking about the governance, ethics, and such. And we will kind of tackle that also in this presentation. Now I will show you a few videos kind of relating to, this is one video, a minute and a half, relating to the security and how the Copilot works. And if you do not hear the sound, you can watch this later. This, for some people, depending on the Windows settings, you might not hear it, but let's see.
Now let me explain how Sales Copilot establishes the right grounding data to generate useful responses. Sales Copilot starts with the prompt and using a process called Retrieval Augmented Generation. It orchestrates the retrieval of information from the Microsoft Graph. That includes email messages, calendar info, and metadata, together with your connected CRM system that's storing customer and opportunity information. As you saw, Sales Copilot also comes with various AI-generated skills. These guide Sales Copilot to curate information required as part of multi-step tasks, like making a proposal where customer and opportunity information might need to be retrieved from different locations using Sales Copilot's orchestration layer together with predefined logic. and information retrieved is then assembled and presented to the LLM, giving it temporary external knowledge to ground it in combination with what it already knows so that it can generate an informed response. Then, before any response is presented to the user, post-processing also removes hallucinations and filters unwanted content to ensure an appropriate response is provided. Importantly, information presented to ground the large language model stays separate to the large language model. It's not used in any way to train it. In fact, Sales Copilot follows Microsoft's documented practices for responsible AI. And of course, all services are designed to meet regulations required in your country, region, and industry in the same way that other Microsoft Cloud services do.
Okay, and that was a nice video. And if you didn't hear the sounds, then you can watch the video later. But then we can see that kind of the most important thing here is that there is lots of intelligence and engineering behind that. So it's not just the ChatGPT that's been embedded on the system. And of course, we can see that it all runs based on the trusted Microsoft Azure cloud, and all the data that you put in is your data. It's not going anywhere. Your questions and answers and everything, they are not used to train the language models. So it's very secure, and it also all runs in Europe. So that's nice for us. About the top 10 use cases based on this Microsoft study, we can see here that content creation design, of course, all the pictures in this presentation or in my slides, they are made with AI, of course, I've been using the Bing image creator. And of course, accelerated automation. For example, in the marketing side, you can use natural language to create segments and make marketing automation, such things. Of course, chatbots, virtual assistants, and product and service innovation, language translation. These are all, we know everybody who's been using, for example, ChatGPT knows already how powerful the system is for language translations and language processing. And creative analytics forecasting, the Power BI Copilot that's coming, very interesting for that. And of course, this is for everything. When you need to create something, of course, you want to use the kind of the AI capabilities to get you started so you don't run into the blank page problem. Now we go to the sales side. The core problem with all sales systems, and I've been doing many projects and I have worked in sales, and I know this, all the good sales or the best sales superstars have their little black book, which has the most critical sales information usually. And of course, the problem is that that does not integrate to anything, and it is impossible to utilize that information within the sales team. The second thing that we need to, and of course, these are all AI created images. I kind of like this trash in and trash out, Picasso style that I asked. The data quality is the most important. The AI, unfortunately, cannot make your data quality better. So you really need to think about the data quality in your CRM system now, so that you can fully utilize the Sales Copilot when it's the right time. Then there's another nice picture. The prompt was to create a friendly snake eating its own tail. The AI created me also this kind of a nice little birdie there. But the idea about this is that this has to do with the data quality. There are some in the scientific, within the scientists, there is a little bit different opinions on the danger of model collapse, which means that when we feed data in and train the models, if we are using AI generated data, will the models collapse at some point or the data get poisoned? What you need to kind of, and this has to do with the data quality as well. So if you're creating lots of data, emails, text with AI, and then you are using that to make the AI summarize that data, then there might be issues at some point. So just for you to keep in mind that the data is important, and there has to be the human factor always to check the data and check the end results. Then about the ways to improve the data quality, of course, you need to set up KPIs always when you're doing development. You need to clean the data, get rid of the duplicates, and then sell the idea to salespeople that the CRM system is really benefiting everyone. And then you should use the Sales Copilot to enrich the data, and we can show you how that's done, and then of course monitor the KPIs to see that you are going to the right direction. I will jump into the Shelley and Daniel's part because it's time and it's 20 past. So now we are going to see how Microsoft Dynamics Copilot and Sales Copilot really works and how you can help it to automate tasks. And which one of you goes first?
That will be me.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Jaakko. So let's take a deep dive into the functionalities of Dynamics Copilot and focus a little bit more on Sales Copilot and what this can do in your everyday work life as a salesperson or working in a sales organization. So me and Daniel, we're going to speak a little about it and show you some video demos of how this works. So as you might know, Sales Copilot is, as we mentioned, it's not one application for all. It's really aimed to be where you are and where you need it the most. Are you in Outlook? You can use Sales Copilot there. Are you in Teams? You obviously have your features alongside with the Teams functionalities. So it really is in everywhere you usually use it to do your work. It's your assistant that you can just bring up whenever. So if you just take a step back and look at how a traditional CRM is looking like, we can see that most of our CRM systems haven't really changed in the last 20 to 40 years. A classic CRM could be contains a lot of challenges when it comes to data, when it comes to keeping up with technology, and it's really not innovative enough. So in order to really adapt to the digital world of selling, with the buyer's journey changing and the buyers making more decisions than the sellers, it really has to be able to adapt fast. And with AI, this can leverage you to adapt continuously and simplify your organization's sales, and in order to improve the interactions you have with your customers. So sellers really are expected to be on the same page with the technology, and when the technology isn't there, sales falls flat. So what has Microsoft done for this? So if you look at the Microsoft 365 sales solution, it really is an end-to-end sales functionality where you work with your customers, you have your leads, and you have your opportunities. And it's really focused on making wins. So you have to close your deals. And in order to do this, the data has to be perfect. The sellers has to update their data. But with AI, we really leverage the power of automating this. So in able to have the closer real-time interactions with your customers, you can improve the seller's productivity and close more deals. And also you have the guidance of the Copilot to create best practices, but also help the sellers to engage better with their customers. So it has 3 core functionalities really: closing more deals, meeting customers in real time, and guiding the sales. So when we talk about the age of AI and the changes of the CRM, and that it traditionally isn't digital enough, or that the sales person, they really jump between different systems. What Microsoft is trying to do is that with AI, you can use the functionality in one place instead of jumping around Outlook, having phone calls, having meetings, writing in a little black book. You really gather the data in one place. So in order for this to work, it's a fundamental change that the sellers can boost their productivity and do what they love the most, which is meeting the customers. And by meeting the customers, this can also lessen their workload with the data that comes from those meetings. So here's a lovely quote from Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft. And the way he speaks about this AI change is that we are in the midst of a massive shift with the new generation of AI that's going to transform every sector and every category of computing. It will unlock a new wave of productivity growth. And what we have seen in stats already is that AI has already increased the global GDP by a lot, and it will keep doing so for the next few years. So it's not here to stop, and it really makes most organizations very curious on how to interact and interject AI into every corner of an organization. So what makes Dynamics 365 Copilot so special? I know that Copilot is a terminology for the whole project suite, really, but if you look at the Copilot within Dynamics, it really is an AI-powered assistant. It's really the first AI assistant in the CRM system, and it's set to help every business role in their productivity. So it helps with generating IDs and the content faster. So this is connected to the top use cases that Jaakko was talking about. So with the help of natural language, it helps your productivity growth and to perform and automate different workload faster. So the key differentiation here is that it is a GTP powered Copilot. It is using the same functionalities from GTP, but it is natively built into Dynamics 365, which makes it very secure with your enterprise data and keeping all those governance and securities within your organization. So let's look at the everyday use cases and what it really aims to do. So what makes it so special? So the main focus here about Sales Copilot is that there are challenges in a salesperson's everyday work life. So we know that one of the main challenges is that 60% of the sales persons are devoted to managing emails, follow up, recap, draft emails, looking for new deals, looking for responses. And this can get very repetitive and it takes a lot of time. But with Sales Copilot, with the functionality of getting AI generated email content, and in order to prioritize work faster, it can help you to make better decisions, create those draft emails and send them out and get overview of details faster and better. You can also craft responses depending on your category or the customer tone and response. Another challenge that I think most salesperson would agree to is the recapping of sales meeting. Salespersons, they devote hours and hours in face-to-face meetings or even digital online meetings, but the recapping, oh man, that takes time. Just following up on action points or following up on meeting notes. Sometimes they do that when they have time, when and usually that time doesn't really come fast enough and you lose the deal. So with Sales Copilot, it can give you optimized summaries on key details from the meeting and give you an overview, help you prepare for the meeting faster, but also send out those action points that have been discussed during meeting to your participants, and this will help you to focus on what actually matter in your customer interactions. And before we jump into the demo, we just have some fast news regarding the Copilot as well, and this is brand new news from the Microsoft Ignite conference that was a couple of weeks ago. So we're talking about Sales Copilot Studio here, which is a new way for your organization to adapt your own and build your own Copilots, which is built on GDP models, and you can train it to to be customized to your organizational needs. So it really is a new way of not only using Sales Copilot, but to build your own Sales Copilot in whatever your organization wants to use it for. So this is just a quick news of what Copilot will be able to take your organization to the next step when it comes to creating your own Copilot. And so with that, I will give my word to Daniel, and he will show you some real life practice with the Copilots.
Thank you very much. So, Sales Copilot in use, right? So we have talked about a lot about the different capabilities, and I think a lot of you might be curious on how will this actually look? How will this actually be useful for my sales team or myself if you are a salesperson? And these slides are going to guide you through how that experience might look. Like Jaakko said before, this is a preview functionality, so things might change. It has changed over time, but hopefully giving you a really good idea what you can expect. So, like Shelley said, one of the challenges is the meetings and preparing for a meeting. This can be quite time-consuming, especially if you have your Outlook with all your emails. You may have your team with Teams channels and information and files over there, and then you have your CRM system, and some information might be spread into different areas of your opportunity. So this feature here is aimed to make this easier for you and your sales team. Navigating to an opportunity and asking for a summary and preparation for a meeting is basically one prompt away. And this is going to gather information from several different areas, similar to how Jaakko and Shelley has already described, using the graph, the data in Azure and Dataverse in order to present the information back to you. And Shelley also mentioned the Copilot Studio, and this is also going to be the tool where you can pull in more data. So we will look a little bit more into how that might look soon, but be prepared in order to have better meeting preparations as a part of your everyday sales life. And then we have another tool that a lot of salespeople use. 66% are devoted to using and maintaining their inbox, meaning for most people Outlook. And how can we help salespeople in their everyday life here? Well, we can try and spend less time thinking about what we should write, and instead leveraging all the information that we have already gathered and use AI to give us the inspiration. So here we can see the Sales Copilot leveraging information in order to compose an email for our customers with information from different sources. And not only is it useful in Outlook, it's also extremely useful in Teams. Here we can see that we have a Teams meeting, it's online, and usually we have had the capability to set up a Teams meeting in our CRM for quite a while, but what has been the actual benefit of doing that instead of just setting it up in Outlook? Well, now we actually have a reason to do that in our CRM, because when you set up the meeting in your CRM and then join it, Sales Copilot will be added to that meeting as an app out of the box, meaning that when you join, you have information about the customer, the opportunity, different interactions that you have had in the side panel available to you, and only you and other people from your organization. And if you record this meeting as well, you don't even have to record the video perhaps, but use live transcription. It will also be able to give you a summary of what has been said. So how does it work? Well, Jaakko has already been touching on these, but basically when we are taking a look at the email side, we have emails coming in, and then we have our Sales Copilot as a side panel within our Outlook. And from here, we have our generative AI at our fingertips. We can use different prompts, and we can read different information. And this is basically, like we've said before, this information is pulled through your data connections. So it's going out, it's using some orchestration features in order to dynamically know which different data sources to hit using your personal on behalf of you. And then it's composing it, it's making it readable for the AI, and then it's using this large language model in order to compose a useful answer for you. And like we touched upon before, it's also doing post-processing in order to try and eliminate as much hallucination as possible. And like you can see here, it also has the embedded references for you to see where is this information pulled from. So we have a video here for email summary and CRM integration, and I will play that for you now.
I mentioned that Sales Copilot works with your CRM systems. So let's start by looking at Sales Copilot in action with Salesforce and Microsoft 365. Here, I'm in Outlook. This email contains an update to an opportunity. A customer has shared a detailed overview of their expansion plans. Watch as Sales Copilot is able to quickly summarize the key points from the email and the related opportunity, so you have the appropriate context while working in Outlook. It can even draft a response automatically by using the context within the email in addition to relevant data retrieved from the CRM system. And to personalize things further, it provides options to adjust the tone and proactively suggests other potential actions, such as setting up a meeting based on calendar availability. Or you can just choose to copy the email text with all the included details and send it.
So there we go. There we have a quick show of how it can look when you are leveraging Copilot inside Outlook. But we have even more. So we have this capabilities when we are using Copilot together with our teams, and especially regarding meetings, that we have the capability of recording everything, of course giving our customers permission to record first, but then we have the analysis in the background. You can have the entire conversation from a like a tone of voice, like is it a positive tone, was it negative, and it will summarize key points, key categorizations, and you can leverage this information also when you are doing your follow-up, meaning that your follow-up is going to be based on what was transcribed inside of the meeting beforehand. And in addition to that, you also have the Teams templates that you can leverage as well when it comes to having deal rooms. And these you can actually set up from Outlook as well. So you have a specific email coming in, it has important information, and you feel like, oh, I have to gather my sales team in one place. Inside your Outlook, you will press set up a deal room, and then all the team members that you have set up as your sales team in the CRM is going to be invited into this deal room. And from here, you will also have access to the information from the opportunity, the information from the different recordings that you have had in order to have the best possible way of winning the deal. And you can also navigate back. This is a key thing. It's easy to go back to the deal room. Previously, it's been very difficult, at least for me, to know exactly where the different information is and what we have. So let me give you a quick video of the team functionalities as well.
Now let's switch gears to a direct engagement and an example where we're working with a customer and have recently met them in an online meeting. The meeting was run using Microsoft Teams with live transcription. The discussion covered the opportunity summary and walked through all the latest activities. And you can see Sales Copilot was able to build a recap for the meeting. It generates a summary of all the highlights and actions from the meeting to help make sure important details aren't missed. At the bottom, you can see the power of AI. It provides a great meeting timeline with auto-generated chapters and even a minute-by-minute measure of sentiment with meeting participants. This is information that can be taken into account as you build a summary with follow-up actions. There's also a Mentions tab that lets you very quickly hone in on specific topics discussed and their frequency, people who were mentioned, key questions, and more, all automatically captured during the conversation.
So if this is not exciting, I don't know what. And then we also have the capabilities which is embedded into our CRM. And this is the personalized experience for Sales Hub. Basically, you have your own ChatGPT embedded as a welcoming screen where you can ask questions about your opportunities. What is my day going to look like? How am I doing with my targets? So this is why it's also so important in order to leverage the default and or standard capabilities like the forecasting and the Teams setup and the opportunity, this opportunity products and everything, in order to be able to ask the right questions. And then when you go into a specific opportunity, you have your sidecar there as well in order to query for that specific opportunity and or in order to get help from the generative AI for that. And the lovely thing here is that it's not only pulling information from your CRM, it's also pulling information from embedded documents that you have inside there, as you can tell from the references. And you can even add more references. And I have a quick video discussing this as well. But basically, you can pull in external data in order to leverage that in the response from your AI as well.
Here, its generative AI capabilities are embedded within the Dynamics 365 sales experience. This lets you easily check in on sales performance, find opportunities to focus on, and get a quick snapshot of all your opportunities. And once you're informed, you can jump right in. This particular opportunity is summarized with details from several references to indicate recent activity and highlight risks. This makes it easy to stay on top of the deal and identify important actions to move forward.
So right, this basically gives us the capabilities of the ChatGPT within our own CRM system. But what do we need? And there are several different parts to this. We have to keep our information up to date. But before, this was perhaps an administrative task that you had to do in order to have the correcting report. But now you don't only do it for this purpose, you also do it in order to feed your generative AI. And if we have our meetings, we track them, we create them from the CRM, there are now certain benefits of doing that, not only for having your activities reported into your CRM, but like I said before, you actually get in benefits like it adds the Sales Copilot to your meeting, so you don't have to add it later. And track relevant emails to your CRM, because then you can have the opportunity of summarizing the emails and conversations that you had. You don't necessarily have to track everything, but the relevant things into your opportunities. And it's also important to have the correct information regarding your contacts. So if you have the possibility to integrate with LinkedIn in order to leverage who knows who and have the latest updates for positions and all the other things, this will also help you get better information from your Copilot. And then we have the deal rooms. We have the Copilot in Outlook in order to optimize the information that you store into your CRM as well. And last but not least, use as much of the standard capabilities as possible, because right now, since this is a preview feature, those are going to be the tables that you can leverage first without having to do a lot of manual work. So Shelley, I think this was one of the things that you found, like what the data is nourishment for your artificial intelligence. When an AI eats junk food, it's not going to perform very well. And I think this ties beautifully back to what we said before with this AI generative images from Jaco, that if you have junk in, it's also unfortunately going to be junk out. So it's extremely important that we act now before we implement too much of the Copilot features and don't understand why we don't get the results that we expect. So basically what we get is a bunch of carrots for us to feed the data into our system instead of doing it for an administrative task. And Salesforce automation is just to prove that this is not only our beliefs, this is also, there's also been done research from Gartner with regards to why Dynamics 365 Sales is an excellent option for everyone that doesn't have it. And for you that already have it, talk to us and understand how you can leverage this and what license requirements is required. And as well, this ties into a larger ecosystem. So we have the low-code platform with Power Platform, where you also have Copilot capabilities in order to help you build faster. We have the cloud infrastructure, we have ERP, and it all ties very nicely together. So with that, we have the Q&A session. And do you have any questions off the bat? So I see there is one question regarding language use here, right? And I can say that yes, some capabilities are currently only for English. If you take the email summary, for instance, or the compose function in Outlook with using Sales Copilot, I have tried to use that with Swedish emails, and it actually said that this feature is currently only available in English. But they are adapting fast, and they will include more languages coming soon. Exactly when, I can unfortunately not say. Perfect question. Do you have any more questions? Imagine anything. What do you need to know about Copilot in order to get started as quickly as possible? Or anything in between?
For the language support in kind of in the official Microsoft documents, there is in Outlook and Teams, Finnish and Swedish are supported, but as you said, there it's coming. It's development is happening. In Teams, of course, it works. If you want to do a recap, like I have the Microsoft 365 license, a Copilot license, so I can do recaps in Teams meetings, also in Finnish. But then you need just to remember to put the transcription language to Finnish. So you just have to remember to do that, because otherwise it's going to be not usable. And then there's a question about the recap function. So yes, the Sales Copilot in Teams does recaps. I'm not quite sure about the Teams Premium feature, but it does a recap with highlights and action points, follow-up actions, and participants, and so forth. So yes, it works.
We also have a question regarding
the license. Yes.
And how to enable these functions. Someone want to answer that?
Yeah. Do you have a ready answer for that, or should we come back to that later?
I can touch how it is currently. So currently, yes, you have like the sales Dynamics 365 Sales Enterprise license. Currently, it is included into your license, but there is an add-on license that you can purchase as well for $30, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then you can add this feature on top as well, because you can actually use Sales Copilot with Salesforce and Dynamics 365. So, and then you have the features that are in Outlook and Teams. How it looks exactly in other CRMs, I cannot speak for, but like we saw in the how it works part, at least you know how it works in Dynamics 365. Perfect. Any more questions?
Okay. If there are not any more questions, then I just have one. We will skip these that we went through already. But these, the one thing you can do now, as we said already, and as it's been investigated with Microsoft, the usage of generative AI is not going anywhere. It will definitely be something that disrupts and helps all of us in our work in the future. And what you need to do is start thinking about the use cases and data issues at least. And for that, we have a Microsoft Needs Assessment workshop that we can offer you. And kind of the best part here is that you might be able to get Microsoft funding for this workshop. So it might not even cost anything for you. And there's a link for the assessment that you can study what it entails. It is a 2 to 4 hour workshop that in the beginning we will review your business objectives. Of course, as I am an advisory consultant, I am always thinking about money and thinking about the bottom line and your business objectives. And for me, it's very important that all digital development is always something that provides you real value. So there's no point of doing any development if the ROIs are not in place. So we will see your business objectives, and then we will help you to create and figure out the beneficial use cases for generative AI in this case. We can also look at your CRM system in general. If you have Dynamics 365 sales in place, we can kind of do that as well. And then we visualize how the AI solutions can support you. And as a result, you will get a clear and actionable picture of how to start realizing the benefits. And this is very exciting. And as I said, you are might be able to get Microsoft funding for this, so you don't need to even pay anything yourself. And you will get our top talent to come and sit with you or via Teams meeting to really help you start to realize the value that generative AI can bring to you. So please check out that link. There's still one question about the recording. Yes, you will get links after the meeting, and you can also find the recording then in Innofactor's website. So please contact us. You can just send an email to any of us, and I can actually put on a slide with the QR codes for our LinkedIn profiles. So please connect, ask questions, send us email, text, whatever, and check out the assessment and utilize the Microsoft funding for that. It is very exciting, and we would really like to help you get all the possible benefits from generative AI that's possible to get. So, any last words from Daniel and Shelley?
No, I would just like to thank everyone that has been listening, and hope it's been inspiring. And yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you very much. And bye-bye, and have a very nice Friday
weekend. Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.